They gonna put the two lights next to each other.
They gotta put the good lookers. They gotta put the good lookers on the same side.
Man. What's up, baby? Yes, sir.
What up, Red? You doing, Red? What up, Red?
We gotta stick together.
Man, there's been no one ever in life that have considered you and Matt Kemp to be on an equal level of handsomeness.
What up, Red?
Never
All you
once
need
in
is
life.
you get some contacts, some green eyes, you be all right. You really be killing it.
Oh, I'm killing it already.
Man, he
Can't give me
bought
the
the
God.
teeth.
God knew.
That's what I told her. I said, the only thing you got probably better than me right now is teeth. Your teeth way better than mine.
But you can't tell him that.
God knew not to give me green eyes. What? I have 27 kids right now.
That's it?
Hold up, limitless, take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On this vision, I can trust. Limitless, take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On this vision, I can trust. Limitless, take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. Thank
Matt Kemp, recently retired.
Yeah.
One of the best athletes to play baseball in your era, I believe, either should have an MVP or they should have given it to you rightfully after Ryan Braun's positive PED test, man. Just an amazing career. Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder, I'm Ryan Clark. Welcome to The Pivot, a part of Fanatics. Man, it's so many places we could go, but I always love to give people a little bit of the spirit of our guest. Your daughter's name is Tyler.
Yeah.
But that name means more to you than just it being your daughter's name. There's an inspiration where that came from. Can you share the story of your brother?
We just started just going deep into
Tyler.
it. Yeah, no, so when I was 14 years old, my brother passed away. He was premature, but he was born 1 pound, 1 ounce. So the doctors gave him like a 5% chance to live because he was such a small little human that you could literally hold him in the palm of your hand. That's how small he was. He literally made it home from the hospital. He did something that, nobody thought he could do. He came home from the hospital, got healthy, and then he just got sick again. He was a little, like being premature, underdeveloped lungs and heart and different things. And I think just being, in the wintertime, getting cold and all those different things, he just kind of his body couldn't handle it. And he ended up passing away. Me at 14 years old, that's really hard on you as a kid and not really realizing that, things like that can happen. 3 years ago, we had a daughter, just to let his spirit live on. I gave her that name, and Tyler Marie Kemp. So she's got a little girl swing to it, but it's to honor my brother.
That's awesome.
How did that, at 14, how did that affect you?
I was really, really sad. You go through all kinds of different emotions, but when you're younger, you don't really think about death that way. You cry, you go through all those different emotions, but I don't think it really hit me until I had my own kid. And I feel like, those childhood traumas that you have, they come back whenever you least expect it. And like when I had my daughter, like all those emotions came back that I thought were gone, that I had got through. It kind of just spiraled a little bit. And, I think mentally things got a little bit weird because it was a really, really happy time. But then it was also like I was remembering some of those things back when I was a kid, and it just all kind of came back up. But, now we're good now. But there's still things that, to this day that me personally, that like worry me. I have really high anxiety now. I worry a lot about my daughter. Like if she's climbing on a table and I see a corner, like y'all are athletes, so we're really good at seeing, like filling out things, and I know this is about to happen.
Right.
And of course my girl, she's like, she's okay. And I'm like, no, there's the corner right here is sharp. She might hit her head, she
Right.
might and then I just have high anxiety. But I work through those things, and I'm starting to let go a little bit more, but I think I'm always gonna be on edge a little bit when it comes to my kid.
Say the baby.
Yeah, that's always gonna be my baby. So
Yeah, I got a couple kids that are grown as hell right now, and I'm still on edge because you're on edge when they barely know how to walk. Then when they start learning how to walk, running through the house around that terrible two, they bruising, they bumping and stuff. You see the sharp edges. And then when they turn teenagers, 15, 16, they start driving.
Yeah.
Like, then you got to think about it. They want to hang out. They want to do this and that. But yeah, we'll forever be that way. But take us back to the Midwest. You came up in an era in Oklahoma when the Sooners football was always amazing. How'd you miss football? How'd you get to baseball?
My mom didn't want me to play football. First off, I was more of a basketball player in high school than I was a baseball player. I played football up till 9th grade. I was a wide receiver and I played middle linebacker. My number was 55. I wanted to be like Junior Seau so bad. Like in football, that was the guy I wanted to be like because he's one of the best linebackers to ever play the game. And he light-skinned. You know what I'm saying?
He's actually
good curly hair.
Guys, he's Polynesian.
Hey, that's why you
y'all can't claim
Listen, you break it down and you break it down, man. He light-skinned.
But just, watching him growing up, I wanted to be just like him. But my mom hit me with hey, I need you to pick 2 sports. And I already knew what she was doing. It was strategic. Like, she knew what she was doing. She knew I was going to pick basketball, and she knew I was going to pick baseball. So 9th grade, I played that my freshman year, and then, my sophomore year goes, and, all the coaches are bribing me, trying to get me on the football field, and I was just like, hey, my mom won't let me, so I just took to basketball and baseball. It's kind of how it happened, so y'all can blame my mom for not being on the football field.
I chose that path.
So you played with Sheldon Williams in high school in basketball. You guys won a state championship.
Yeah.
You were an all-area player in a sport that a lot of African Americans play. And then there's baseball, which at the time you weren't as skilled at, that you decide to choose to play for your senior year. What went into that decision?
My dad fighting. We didn't physically fight, but it was arguments all the time because he saw something that I didn't see. He's like, there's a lot of 6'4" basketball players that are really good in basketball, but there's not a lot of 6'4" baseball players that are really good in baseball. And there was a guy that we were facing, and he was he's gonna be a top pick. We actually played in Little League together, and we played against each other. We went to rival high schools. He went to Dale City, I went to Midwest City. But at the time, all the scouts had came to see him. And they stayed for pretty much that whole little series. But I think he struck me out like one time. I got a hard hit off of him, so it was a really good matchup. And then I'll never forget, like the next week, I started seeing like all these scouts at the game, and I asked my coach, I was like, hey, who are all these people here to see? And he's like, they're here to see you. And I was like, so wait, I ain't gotta go to college if this baseball thing work out? And they were like, you can get drafted out of high school. And I was like, man, all right, I guess we're gonna try to do this baseball thing. But it was my dad, the arguments, him seeing something that I didn't see as a kid, and it just kind of just worked out.
But how hard is that path? Your path went great, amazing. Like RC said, you probably should have been the damn MVP. But how hard is that path for being a kid, jumping right into the ranks? And I know it's AA, AAA, single A, all that shit, man. Is that shit hard?
It's super hard, especially when they're only paying you like $900 a month. Like, you get your signing bonus. I think this is what people don't understand. When I got drafted out of high school, I come back to Midwest City. My signing bonus was like $120,000, and then after taxes, which, when you come out of high school, you don't know nothing about taxes. So I was like, why am I only getting a $90,000 check? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why am I only getting a $90,000 check? And, I bought me a truck, a nice truck, and then after that, my mom made me put the rest of my money up. But, like, everybody in Midwest City thought I was rich. And I'm like, man, the crazy thing is, after my first year in the minor leagues, my mom made me come back home and get a job. Like, I wasn't working out. Like, all these kids now, they have trainers, chefs. Like, I had a job. Like,
You was at the Walgreens?
No, I was at a car auto auction, like getting cars ready to get painted. Like, so you tape them off, and I would detail the cars. So she was like, you gonna make bread. Like, we gonna put this money up just in case this baseball thing don't work out. And of course, I'm telling her, like, I'm gonna make it.
Right.
And she's like, I don't know if you're gonna make it. She believed in the dream, but like, she's like, there's gotta be another plan in case. And I'm just like, in my mind, there ain't no backup plans. It's either baseball or I'll figure it out if I don't make it.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I had a best friend named Junior Spivey, who won a World Series with Arizona. He was from my city. He literally called me. We didn't even know each other, but we knew of each other and we knew some of the same people. And he paid for my plane ticket to Arizona, got me with the best trainers, taught me how to eat right and be a professional baseball player. And he's like, nah, you ain't gonna get like, you're not gonna work anymore. Like, you wanna be a baseball player, like, we gotta do this. So if it wasn't for Spivey, I wouldn't have been put in that position to like get in that mindset of being a professional baseball player. So, and then 2 years later, I was in the big leagues. So it happened really fast. I'm 18 years old, trying to go to college and play basketball. And then 3 years later, I was in the major leagues.
Last time I think we were here doing the baseball player, we had a T-Nut, your business
my best
partner.
friend.
Right, and your business partner. What you got? You got real estate, coffee shop,
We got
smokehouse, barbecue.
Yeah, we got barbecue. We own real estate together. We own a bunch of commercial properties. Man, we just, construction, like we just kind of got our hands in all kinds of different things.
You got a couple dollars.
Well, I mean, he's the main reason why I got into business, because, I mean, I think we all know that we thought we were gonna be like athletes forever.
Yeah.
And I really got hit hard like my last year playing and my last year playing, like 2020, like that COVID year, and then I tried to go play again, and it just was like, man, I don't, whatever. But it just I didn't get to retire on my terms the way I wanted to. But you know, Torrey helped me kind of transition into that other life.
He's such an amazing person, and you know, that show was
Yeah.
great. The stories he shared with us about, you know, how he had to come up through the ranks, especially through the minor leagues, sleeping in cars and all this different stuff. The Columbus catfish.
Oh, wow.
Do you have any experiences that you can share with us?
It didn't get as bad as sleeping in cars, but I mean, I don't think people really understand how hard the minor leagues is. Like, in football, you get drafted, you're going straight to the league. Like, you getting whatever the minimum is at that time, whatever, 300, 400, 500,000. In baseball, you are a minor leaguer. Like, it's hell. Like, you got 10 guys in a 3-bedroom house.
Yeah.
Like, you got, like, this living room is somebody's room. The office is somebody, like, you turn a 3-bedroom into a 10-bed. You make it happen. But, like, it's, unless you're a first rounder. First rounders, they always got so I was always cool with the first rounders because I knew they'd have a dope crib, and they let me into one of those other rooms for a little bit cheaper. So you just got, I was strategic. You gotta work it a little bit, but if you ain't got no friends, y'all slumming it. like you for real slumming it, man. It's hard.
And slumming it, you know, we all look at the big payday in baseball.
Yeah.
And Ryan Terrio is one of my close friends.
Oh,
we have a business together.
the Riot.
And he always talks about
my guy.
that grind,
Yeah.
great dude, of getting there.
Yeah.
But we always see the contract when you get there.
Yeah.
When you got there, it was a $160 million contract that you had worked for, that a decision you and your father had a conversation about had finally paid off. What was that moment like for you when the work seemed to be rewarded?
I was on my way to New York. They had just started doing the Gold Glove like award ceremony. It was the first time, and dude, I didn't know how big it was. I didn't bring my mom. I didn't bring my dad. I literally just got on a plane, went to the award, and I'm like, oh damn, like this is like way bigger than I thought. I'm out here by myself, like
Country boy shit.
I just didn't know, bro. Like I didn't know this was the first time they did it, but I was like, this is a big deal. Like I should have my people out here with me. My agent calls me while I'm in the car going to the hotel of where the ceremony is. He's like, hey, I got 160 on the table for 8 years. And he's like, I think I could get you more. And I'm like, bruh, let's not piss nobody off and have them take this money off the table, bro. Like, I ain't trying to ruffle no feathers. I figured we gotta sign this.
Right.
And he's like, all right, we'll do it. Man, I got out that phone, man. I don't even think it was. It's still taxis in 2011, 10. It wasn't no.
Ubers was
I had
out. They was out.
Were they
but-
out?
Yeah.
Well,
Ubers
I
was
might
probably
out.
had a driver.
I probably had a
Right.
driver.
Yeah.
So, okay, I had a driver come pick me up. But I think he probably thought, man, what's wrong with this dude? Like in the back crying, like something happened, somebody died or something. No, I was just overwhelmed with joy because all that hard work had paid off. Also, going back to what you were talking about, like how hard it is, or both of y'all going back how hard it is being an African American playing baseball. I literally maybe there was one or two other black kids on my team, and my boys, we're over here winning state in basketball, but they making fun of me during baseball season because I got my cleats over my shoulder, and they're like, oh, he's playing this sport. That's not for us. We don't do that. We play football and basketball. And then I got drafted. They're like, man, I should have played baseball, man.
Right.
But it's just like all that, not making being one of the best players in Oklahoma and not making all-state. Like I had so many chips on my shoulder from people telling me that, you should have went and did something different or went and played basketball. And it literally it was like, dang, I finally I'm here, I made it. It was a good moment.
Yeah, in 2011, you almost win the Triple Crown. I think you were third in batting average that year. And Ryan Braun wins it. It eventually comes out. He tests positive for PEDs. Even before the admission of Ryan Braun's positive test, many people thought you should have been the 2011 league MVP. I thought so personally as well, because when we do have one of us that starts to shine in baseball, we get attached to it. It's like everything else that doesn't seem familiar to our culture. How did you process and deal with not winning the 2011 MVP?
It was a weird experience because I've known Ryan for forever. Like we played against each other. We were good friends. He lives in Malibu. The crazy thing is I had lunch with him 2 weeks before that. And I mean, this is something that Major League Baseball had known about, going into the end of the playoffs, end of the season. So, I mean, it was something that was known. He had known, Major League Baseball had known about it. So for me, it was just kind of him being one of my boys, us eating lunch. You would think hey man, there's some stuff about to come out, bro. I either did this or didn't do this. And of course, this is not a shot at him because it is what it is now. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm not mad about it, but it's just kind of how it went down and how, when people get, tested. I'm sure Ryan Garcia getting popped. I'm sure boxing knew about that, before the fight even happened. Or I don't know how their drug tests work, but I mean, people that you knowingly know about it and you still give somebody an award. And then what's crazy is I know Brandon Phillips, that's another brother that played in the big leagues for a very, very long time. He sent me a text, and I'm like, that year I had won the Gold Glove, Silver. I won every award you could think of. Yeah. And he literally texted me, he goes, hey, they ain't gonna give you that big one, playing around.
Right.
He's like, they ain't gonna give you the big one. And I'm like, bro, I got this. What you talking about? He was right.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's also a thing that I think people don't understand about East Coast and West Coast. East Coast baseball, if you look at the numbers, most East Coast baseball players win more MVP awards than West Coast because on the East Coast, everybody's up. When the West Coast is playing, everybody's asleep on the East Coast.
Yeah.
There's more voters on the East Coast, and they love baseball way more than on the West Coast. So you have those voters who are going to always favor guys on the East Coast.
Yeah, was it more difficult to lose and feel deserving, or when you finally heard that Ryan Braun had taken something that he shouldn't have been?
I mean, it's not his fault that he won it. I feel like my numbers were there. He had really good numbers. People always say that, my numbers were better even without all the extra stuff. But it's the question was, especially in LA, they would say, so if Major League Baseball gives you the award, would you take it? I said, no, because I want to be voted in. I want to be I want you to give it to me without there being some type of scandal behind it. So, I mean, of course, people bring it up to this day, but there's nothing I could do about it. You get over it, you move on. I tried to win the next year, and them hamstrings started messing up. Them hamstrings. all them damn stolen bases, them hamstrings. Ooh. I was on my way.
But on paper, you didn't win the big one. Probably should have.
Yeah.
But you won the Hank Aaron Award.
Yeah.
Like with his legacy and namesake,
Wow.
and being a black man in the big league,
Yeah.
being a minority in the majors, like how significant, that award or winning that award was.
Super significant. I mean, that's Hank Aaron, man. Like he paved the way for all of us. Of course, Jackie Robinson and guys like Don Newcombe, Maury Wells. Like the cool thing about playing in LA and being with the Dodgers in that organization is that like my mentors were Don Newcombe. Like Don Newcombe was the first person to ever win MVP and Rookie of the Year at the same time, a black man in that time. And now, like these are guys that paved the way, guys that helped me get to that 160, 15 years in the league. They're the reason why I got to where I got to, because I had those mentors, those older guys that like helped me and shape like what became of. So like just to be able to win awards like that and do things like that that's amazing.
You were about to say the hamstrings the following year. They didn't treat you right.
Yeah.
Were you on too much of a high? Did anything change after
Nothing
that
changed.
big season?
Training didn't change. Nothing changed. I think. So this is a crazy thing. Like I tell Josiah, my nephew, this all the time. Like this kid, 3% body fat, super strong. That's cool for baseball or for football and basketball. For baseball, they always wanted us to be at 8 to 11% body fat because we play so many games.
Right.
And it's just a long season, and you can't pull fat.
Yeah,
you can
that's
pull
fact.
muscle, but you can't pull fat.
That's true.
I was like, you know what? I was ripped that year, and I was like, let me be more ripped this year. Like, I want my jersey to look good. Like,
Yeah.
man, ooh,
I've been there.
and I'm just like, and after that, it's just like you get that mental block with that hamstring. You like, do I go fast? You got to pick your moments when you want to run, and then like, cause you scared of getting that pull in there again, and it was just one of those things that it just happened.
Some would say some things did change about you when you got money. You definitely dated like a light-skinned guy with money. And a lot of times your hamstrings could get tight when it'd be a lot of this.
Here he
You know
goes.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
it'd be
this
like,
boy, here it goes.
Either this or
Yeah,
this way.
yeah, we got, yeah, you know. So,
You overfired the glute muscle.
yeah,
Overly
so,
active.
they
boy wild.
they
This boy
just
wild.
say you were putting. There was a lot of work.
I was young, man. I was young. I was in a big city. When you dating in LA, it's not hard to date certain people in LA. So it's like, the cool thing is, I'll never forget, I remember one time, this is like 2018, me and my mom watching one of our favorite shows, Ozark.
Yeah.
And what's the old boy's name?
Jason Bateman?
Jason Bateman, my bad, Jason. He literally, I'm in the on-deck circle, my mom's right behind me, and she goes, Matt, look. And I'm like, yo, like, I'm a little famous too. Like, don't do me like you groupieing out over here right now. Like, chill. But like, you just like dating and like being on the Texas Rangers or it's not a shot to any team, but like those smaller market teams or Cincinnati or Milwaukee, you're not gonna come into contact with like the most famous people like are at your games all the time.
Why you keep walking around it?
Because I'm not doing
Why
this.
do you keep
I'm not
trying
doing
to
this.
avoid saying
I'm not doing
you
this.
think it's easy to
That was
date
a long
Rihanna?
time ago, man.
That
was a long time
How
ago.
you shoot it, Riri? I gotta know. Just how you how you got?
I don't. That was a long time ago. I don't remember.
But did you slide up? Did you
There was no
you
sliding
drop
of
your name?
DMs. There was nothing. It was just a mutual situation, mutual friends, and hey, hi, nice to meet you. Boom, bam, done. Next question.
You look deep in the eyes.
Hey, he's trying to avoid
Did you
the
open
whole
them eyes
thing.
up on them green eyes?
Y'all got me sweating, man. Stop.
Hey, then he can hit us with the next question. When he said next, I thought it was like, nah, you just get Rihanna, then you move on. But he was just trying to move on from the entire conversation.
I mean, listen. I knew that might come up, but I dated. I did my thing. Now I'm just happily in Texas in a relationship and loving life. I already know.
I want some game.
Way left. He's in here like, I want
some game. I need to know what.
Stop, man. You got game, man. You live in Miami. You don't need game. You good. You a professional. You don't need too much game.
You just smile at him. That's what I do. I just smile at him.
Yeah, I played on a big market team.
But I ain't got green eyes.
You said you was gonna ask him how to get
here we
to
go. So you go
first base, second base.
This boy wild.
third.
They wildin'.
Man, you scared?
Y'all wildin', boy.
Word.
Y'all funny, bro. Y'all hilarious.
But
She's in a happily committed relationship. I'm in a happily committed relationship.
But from that though,
Y'all are wild.
From that though, you know, when you mentioned the injuries, right? When that happens and when the numbers start to slip, people do start looking for a reason why.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And so they're gonna say things like he's more interested in celebrity than he is his game. You guys were compared to Jessica Simpson and Tony Romo, who plays on a big market football team in the Dallas Cowboys. How difficult, though, was that to deal with? Because the one thing about athletes is this, bro. When it's not working out the way we want it, we start looking for that. What thing did I do different? What has changed about
So,
it?
I mean, I have really good friends who have, and of course, I'm not gonna say any names, but like, who've dated like really high celebrities, and they were like, hey, listen, do what you want, but like, especially in baseball, because it's more mental, it's more failure than you succeeding. 3 out of 10, you Hall of Famer. Like, that means you failed 7 out of 10 times. That like our lives, a baseball life and like that life, it doesn't mix because you just gotta stay focused. Like, he's like, I don't think it's a good idea, but I'm like, man, I'm 24, 25, like, man, I'm gonna date and have fun and whatever happens, happens. And of course, like being from Midwest City, Oklahoma, like you're not used to like people, paparazzi following you and doing all these different things. So it does put you in a space where like you kind of shell up and like things that I never had to think about, I had to think about like, am I wearing the same jeans? Am I wearing the same pants or shirt? Or like, did I wear this outfit before? Like just stupid stuff. Like, and of course, that's not the way I want to live. That's why I live all the way in the middle of nowhere now.
Right. Yeah.
I like to just be by myself, pretty much. You still over here thinking about some craziness, bro. I already know you, bro. I know you.
I know, yeah. I'm visualizing.
That's disgusting.
You a big dude. Rihanna's little.
This guy.
Like, it's funny you said it earlier about deciding to hang it up. Cause you could probably bat 250, 300, maybe.
Oh, no, I can hit, man.
I was saying, like, you could still bat if you wanted to bat, and both leagues now have
I don't even know what the league average is, but the last few years, me and my boys who are pretty much the same age that didn't want to retire are like, man, they letting these young boys come up here and bat 190, and I'm like, I ain't never batted 190. Like, I can bat 190 right now. Yeah. But I think the game is changing a little bit. It's getting younger, and of course, I think with us, they don't want to pay older guys more money. Like, they rather pay a kid to struggle than an older guy to help them not struggle. Which, when I was coming up, I had guys like my mentors. Torrey Hunter was, when I was 21, I met him in Minnesota. We played them 3rd or 4th series in the season. And this is what's crazy about baseball. Like, when you see a brother on the field, like, you give him that, and they give it back, you like, oh, he one of us. Like, of course, I knew Torrey, but I ain't even have to go up to Torrey. Torrey came up to me and he's like, he spit some knowledge to me. He ain't have to do that. Mm-hmm. But like, I took that with me. We became best friends. Juan Pierre was like one of my main mentors being in LA. He taught me like a lot. Like, and if it wasn't for him, I got so many people that I could shout out, and it takes a village, honestly, to be a black baseball player. Like, it takes a lot.
I got a question, but Torrey texted me. He said he bought you some expensive clothes in Arizona.
Oh, man.
And he said something to you and D. Gordon.
So, like, I was on a 2-year deal for like $10 million. So I was like, I'm a millionaire now. I can buy my own clothes. But Torrey had already made maybe $100 million maybe or something. He played like 30 years. And he's really frugal and good with his money. Like, he don't spend, like, I actually lived life. Like, he was been married and he just stacks bread, which that's what I do now. But y'all remember Barney's, right?
Yeah.
R.I.P. Barney's, man. That was my store.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. There's no more Barney's, but we go into the store and I get like 4 or 5 things, and it's like $2,500, and I'm like, dang, like I guess I gotta. And D. Gordon, he buys about a couple $1,000s worth of things. We get up there, I pull my credit card out, and he's like, nah, I got it. I'm like, bro, like I'm good, I can pay for it. He goes, blink, and I'm like, what you mean blink? So I'm up here at the counter like, blink, and he goes, made that back. Like basically like, he just made that money back right in that moment. I was like, oh my God.
Right.
I was like, I need to get like that.
And you got like that.
Or like another story like this is, I think, and of course, y'all remember Rafael Furcal? He's
Yes.
like one of the best shortstops ever, Dominican. He's a good friend of mine playing in LA. And my rookie year, we're in the locker room. And he's like, hey, Papi, come over here. I need you to open something for me. You know how Dominicans talk. You be in Miami, you know how they talk. Hey, Papi, come here, Papi. He's like, Papi, I gotta show you something. So he hands me an envelope. And he's like, open that for me. I need you to open it, man. My fingers hurt. Like, I've been throwing, hitting, and I open it. It's $500,000 check. And he goes, Papi, that's for just 2 weeks, Papi. He's like, you wanna be like me? Keep working hard, you make way more than me. I was like, bro, I can make $500,000 every 2 weeks. I was like, say less. It's like little, he probably doesn't remember stuff, but I remember so many things like that like gave me the like motivation. Or Carl Crawford, when I lived in Arizona with Spivey, we went over CeCe made it to the league at like 19. We went to his house, big ass house. And I was like, all right, I get it now.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta go back to work. It's just little things like that like I feel like, I think we've all been there that motivates you, like those older players that you look up to. Kids now, they see that, they're like, oh man, this ain't nothing. Like,
You made that transition to that player.
Yeah.
Though, and had a resurgence on your like childhood favorite team.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Talk about being a huge fan of the Atlanta Braves growing up, and then having another All-Star season late in your career for that same team.
When I got traded to Atlanta from San Diego, man, I was like super happy because I wanted to get out of San Diego because it was weird. It was just weird vibes. I just don't think San Diego is one of them places that like, San Diego's a beautiful place, but just like for me at that time, a baseball player, you know, like I was used to like being in LA and people holding you accountable, especially the media.
Yeah.
Like the media be like, hey, why you suck right now? Where you be like, all right, man, I gotta get these motherfuckers off my back. Like, in San Diego, the first month and a half, I was terrible. I'm at my locker like this. Nobody bothering me, asking me questions. I was like, I need to go somewhere where it like matters.
So getting to Atlanta though, and was it more like that?
Childhood team, like playing at Turner Field every day.
because growing up, I used to be able to watch Chicago and Atlanta play growing up.
You were either
when
a
I was in
Chicago
New Orleans.
Cubs fan or you were or Atlanta Braves. WGN
Yep.
or TBS.
Right.
TBX, Bobby Cox. Like all these different players that like Otis Nixon, Jeff Blauser, David Justice, like Gary Sheffield. These are like, Gary Sheffield is one of my top 3 favorite players ever, putting on that jersey. Like that was a resurgence because that second half, I balled out from leaving San Diego, and then the next year, I balled out again, and them damn hamstrings again came back. I was gonna be an All-Star that year. It's just pop, woo. And also just being on that was my first time playing on an East Coast team, so I don't know a lot of people on the East Coast, so there was a little bit of I mean, of course, I've never really told anybody this, but I was really happy to be in Atlanta, but I was also depressed because I was lonely. I didn't know nobody out there. I played in San Diego and I played in LA. It was all West Coast. And on the East Coast, I didn't have my family, no friends. I had one friend that lived in Atlanta, but other than that, I didn't have anybody. So fast forward to that second year, I got traded back to LA. And then 2018, that year, I made the All-Star team. It was like a resurgence, but I remember that opening day in 2018. First, when I got traded, the GM calls me and he's like, hey man, we traded for you. And they're like, I don't know if we're gonna keep you on the team. We might release you. And I'm like, man, I go, yo, man, I just balled out last year. Just let me come to training camp, bro. And like, if I don't make the team, you can do whatever you want to do. I balled out in training camp, made the team, opening day, had my Oakleys on, I'll never forget. I'm on that bench, balling under them shades, because when I got traded the first time from LA, I didn't really know that baseball was a business. I thought it was more family. Like, I'm always gonna be with the Dodgers, but I felt like betrayed when I got traded from LA that first time. So this was kind of like my coming home type situation, and made the All-Star team. We got to the World Series, we lost to Boston, but like that was one of my my favorite season, because that's the most fun I had ever playing baseball.
You were balling on the field. Why were you so depressed?
I think just lonely. Like I was around so many familiar people. It was just one of those times where I couldn't really, I don't know, sad, depressed. You call it what you want. I just wasn't like myself. Yeah. I couldn't really tell. I think it was just not being around more familiar faces. Like, I had really good friends, Freddie Freeman. I had guys on the team, but like, man, they got families. I'm the older guy on the team, still single, with no family, and all these other guys, they got families. So on the road, we go out, have fun with, but when we back in Atlanta, everybody's with their family. I'm just, I don't play video games. You can only go out so much.
In Magic City right there by the varsity.
You knew that was coming. He can actually tell you how to get there.
Did you get the backpack?
I got it all.
Bro, like how much does a year in Atlanta, or a year and a half really in Atlanta, the second half of the year you traded, the next year where you're playing extremely well, but dealing with being alone, how much did it make you value Los Angeles when you went back?
A lot more, because there were times when in LA where I would say things to them like, hey man, like, cause you know how it is when you got those, you the vet, but you still putting up the same amount of numbers as you did before, All-Star, All-Pro, all that. And then you got these young, shiny new toy come in, and they're like, oh, we gonna go with this new toy. But I'm still doing the same, still doing the same thing over here. Like, I hadn't missed a beat, and I'm a leader in the clubhouse. My guys love me, but y'all don't love me, and y'all over here disrespecting me. So it's kind of like, you know what? Maybe I think the grass is greener on the side. My ass got shipped to San Diego, and I was like, damn, this is different. This is different. So when I got back to LA in 2018, I was like, I'm a soak this all up and enjoy this. Because the next year, they traded my ass to Cincinnati. I went to Cincinnati.
Ain't no loyalty, brother.
I was like, bruh.
Bill
But then
Belichick,
I knew the business though then. I was like, we need to get this money off the books. I knew it then, but before that, I didn't know, man. I didn't know.
But Cincinnati's still another great baseball town.
Absolutely.
Right?
They just weren't winning.
So go back to 2020.
Uh-huh.
I believe your last game was 2 days after your birthday.
Uh-huh.
Recently, you penned a letter, Dear Baseball, your retirement letter.
Yeah.
Why 4 years? Why did it take so long
Ooh, I know
to
where you're
get to
going
that
with
point?
this. I know where you're going with this. It's just hard, man.
And
It's
how
hard to say goodbye.
That was the next.
Yeah, it's just hard to say goodbye. Like, just imagine you, I mean, I'm just talking like y'all don't play sports. But just, you know that feeling of like, you've been doing something your whole life. I've been playing baseball and basketball since I was 4 years old, and that's all you know. And that's kind of, in your mind, that's all you think of yourself is as a baseball player, when, of course, we know there's more to life than just baseball. But like in those moments, yeah, it's just hard. I couldn't go to any baseball games. I could only, watch from afar. I would watch some games on TV. I would watch my boys, but then I'd be like, I gotta stop watching this, because it's like I kind of compare it to, and I don't know if y'all wanna like kind of agree with this, but I feel like when you retire, it's kind of like a death in your family. Like, it's a void in your life that you don't have anymore. Because I knew when I'm on the field, there's nothing outside of the field that can bother me when I'm in between those lines. Right. And then when I get off the field, okay, I know it's still there. But when I'm on the field, this is when I'm my happiest. Even if I'm striking out 2 or 3 times, like, this is what I do. And like, there was a depression there for for 3 or 4 years where I was like, man, I can't say bye yet.
Right.
Because I had a trainer in Arizona named Mac Newton. He's a black belt in Taekwondo, and all we did was like body weight, crazy body weight stuff in a 120-degree room. And before we did a session, he's like, I need everybody to go get a composition notebook, and we're just gonna talk about mental, like just mental things, and I want you to write the things down that like stick out to you. And then he also said, every year I want you to have different goals. And I remember and I still have these composition notebooks from like 2005. And like 2005, it would be like, make it to the big leagues, be better with your money, spend more time with God. It's just a bunch of deep stuff, but then also like, I wanna win a gold glove. I wanna do this. But one of my goals, this is crazy, one of my goals was play till I was 40 years old. That was one of my goals.
Wow.
And I played 14 and a half, 15 years in the big leagues. And that one, out of all those things that I accomplished, there's one goal that I didn't accomplish, and it made me feel like a failure because I didn't play till I was 40 years old. That one thing, it just stuck out, and I'm like, dang, like, I didn't do what I said I was gonna do. So it made me feel like a failure. But then, of course, talking to my friends, my family, and everybody, like, dude, God bless you with 15 years in the league. You did a bunch of different things. You've made an impact on a bunch of people in life. And the crazy thing is I didn't really realize that till after retirement, because now I have people reach out saying, hey man, I used to watch the games with my dad, he passed away, and like all these different things that like you don't think about because you're just on a high. Your whole career, you're on a high. Like that time goes by fast.
Very.
That 15 years went by really fast. And like, I'm like, damn, I should have did this more, I should have did this, I should have did all these different things. So now I'm trying to teach the younger kids to like enjoy your little wins. Don't get too high on your wins, but enjoy them because you just never know when it's gonna be done. Cause mine was like 2020, COVID year, done, didn't play again.
In football, well, I know Barry Sanders, he faxed in his retirement letter, said he was done.
Yeah.
And we get, even if you don't officially retire, we get a severance package. Like if you don't play within a year of your last game. How does it work in baseball? And who did you officially retire with? What team?
I mean, of course, I retired with LA, but ain't no severance package in baseball. See, y'all stuff ain't guaranteed. Our stuff is guaranteed. We get all our money.
Yeah, the severance be them 2 years they might have left.
So there's not a severance package, but like, I mean, I got some boys that never retired. Like they won't, they just be like, hey, I'm out. Like, after a certain, I think people knew I was retired, but it's like, this was my time to just be like, all right, man, I'm just, next chapter in life.
Right.
Like what you guys are doing now.
So
like,
that was for you. To pen that letter to baseball was for you, your family, and your fans, more so than to, I guess, really make it official.
Really for me, but yeah, family, friends, fans, because everybody, what's he gonna do next? What's this? Hey man, I'm over here working on myself. I'm being a dad. I'm enjoying my life. And like, I was like, all right, next chapter. It's time to move on and figure out what's next. The crazy thing is, because I identified with being a baseball player for so long, that I literally moved all trophies, everything, like into one room. And that's the batting cage that we have in the crib where the kids come and hit. Because I'm only a baseball player in here, but on the other side of the house, I'm just dad.
What are you now? What do you identify as now? If the baseball has to go, like.
I mean, I'll always be a baseball player, but I mean, there's more to it. Like, I'm just not like, I just don't identify as like Matt Kemp, the baseball player, like Matt Kemp, the businessman, Matt Kemp, the dad, Matt Kemp, the friend. Like.
Because that energy got to go somewhere, though.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
Passion, yeah.
It'll never, so I'm gonna put that energy into my family, my Josiah, who's sitting over here, who like down out here for the next week, getting ready for these big tournaments and showcases. I got a kid, Jason Jones, who's in college at Arkansas that I mentor that comes to the house. Like I can get my high from like teaching kids what I know now. There's not a lot of kids out here that listen to the OGs anymore. Like, it's more like they just gonna listen to whatever gets some more followers on Instagram, or it's weird. Like, you get a Hall of Famer over here that's been doing it forever, or a Hall of Famer, and they'll listen to some dude on Instagram that's doing a tutorial. Like,
Yeah,
it's just weird.
I think that's what, that's what moves people more today,
Yeah.
more of this generation. But also, too, back to the point that you made about retirement, sometimes we focus on the things like play till you're 40 years
Mm-hmm.
old. Like, my goal was being undrafted. Like, once I got into the league, I said I was going to play longer than every safety that was drafted. If I could never be the best one or the most famous one or the most successful one, I was going to have the most longevity.
Yeah.
Right? That was what I focused on. And then when we get to the points where the game doesn't love us anymore, we're trying to find those things that makes us holding on to it okay.
Yeah.
And that was your thing. And
Yeah.
eventually you get to a point and you're like, okay, I'm fine with relinquishing this part of my life.
Absolutely.
And we're entitled to take as much damn time as we need to get to that. Because we can't be ready for the second part of our life or great in the second part of our life when the first part still has a hold on us. And I think you did it, the way that sometimes makes sense for you. But on the other side of that, Chan's son plays baseball and he's become somewhat of a hitter. And he likes to pimp.
I seen the video.
Yeah, he likes to pimp.
seen him.
He likes to
I've seen
pimp
him.
the home run.
Yeah.
I
Right.
would tell
So
my,
what is
I would tell my guy on the other end to bean him in his side.
He said he get hit though.
He be getting hit too.
No, I'm playing.
no.
I'm
So
playing,
what's
but
the-
I'm not playing.
What's the best bat flip? What's the best, most disrespectfully respectful bat flip you've ever seen?
I never. Well, so it's different for me because I got to see the old school part of baseball era, and then I got to see the new. So I got both, and of course, coming up, it's always, hey, hit a damn home run, like that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you get paid to do. Like he hits bombs, and he's gonna hit a lot of bombs. But so he can do whatever he want. But he also gotta be prepared for that baseball hurt. So it's either like, hey, don't do that again, or I'm gonna come get you, or just take it and then hit another one the next at bat. But I just my era was like just hit it like you done it before.
Right. Yeah, but today, you see them, they throw it.
Oh, I seen it. I seen some of the videos on Oh yeah.
He go up there, wiggle his butt, and play with the.
They ain't gonna hit him though. Oh no, they're not gonna hit him. And he got the number 99 on. Oh yeah. He a big bopper, bro.
Yeah. He got that's a baseball.
He a big bopper, man. He a big bopper. Nah, I do enjoy the kids having fun, but I want kids. Baseball is way more fun to watch now, but there's sometimes where kids just go way over the top for no reason.
Right.
Like if you got 3 home runs on the season, and it's the end of the season, and you bat flipping, like bro, you got 3 bombs, dog. Like you ain't no home run hitter.
So you should have won the National League MVP and didn't. How much do you keep up with the game now, and who are the players in this year's Major League that you think could be MVPs?
I mean, right now, you got Shohei, who's just killing. You got Mookie, who's always gonna be
amazing.
MVP candidate. I was in training camp with Mookie and him like a few months ago, and he's like, "Hey man, I heard you and Tori own a barbecue spot in Texas." He's like, "We'll be out there for the All-Star game, man. I want to make sure I get something on paper so you can get my family some barbecue." And I'm like, "Dang." It must be really nice to be that good to make plans for the All-Star game before the All-Star game even happens. You know what I'm saying? Like he made those plans like in training camp.
Yeah.
Now this Negro hitting 335.
It's amazing.
He got like 10 home runs. I'm like, bro, he that dude, bro. And then you got, Acuna who just got an ACL surgery. Bro, there's a lot of young, exciting players that are out there right now that are good. My MVP right now is gonna be, Shohei, Mookie, and then you got, man, there's too many, man. The game is exciting. It's in a good place, man.
Yeah.
We just need to figure out these umpires and just some of the other extra stuff that be going on in the game.
Think you look at for the Dodgers to have a team with MVPs on it, you acquire,
You got 3.
You cried Freddie Freeman as well.
He's always an MVP candidate.
Freddie T, I've been good on the parlays. You stink.
Yeah.
Maybe you can take some of this information, get on Fanatic Sportsbook app, get ready, pick your NL, pick your AL MVP.
I got to go check out the odds. So I'm on the app right now. Hopefully I can get it right this time.
To go back to your question though about like you got like transitioning, like I think something that really helped my mental, and like I think you can ask a lot of, I'm sure just even watching this show, and like some of my boys that I play golf with, ex-athletes, golf. Like Tori has been trying to get me to play golf for years, and I'm like, man, ain't nobody out there that look like us playing golf. I play golf every day now.
It's also a rich man's sport.
It is. It's very expensive, but mentally, it feeds some of those, like, it's a game that's like you're never gonna be perfect in. It's an imperfect game. Like you hit one good shot and hit 20 bad shots, or it's just a game of ups and golf is by far to me harder than baseball.
Yeah.
That's what I think. But that definitely helped me with my mental and my transition.
It's a different swing for y'all, right?
It is. Everybody thinks it's the same,
Right.
but the weight transfer is different. It's just a bunch of different things. But golf is something that definitely helped. You golf?
I play with him
Okay,
sometimes.
all right.
I'm terrible, but
How far off was Matt Kemp, the baseball player, in his career away from being everything you wanted him to be as a baseball player?
Very, very close. Like I really like cherish my relationships with my family, my friends, and just people. Like I'm a very loyal person. So like when you in my circle, and I'ma just do whatever I need to do to make life easier, happier. And I think towards the end, it started getting a little draining. I kind of like lost my edge a little bit. Like I had the edge that I could still go out there and perform, but like it just wasn't like it was as I was younger, where it was just like I'm just gonna just do everything. So for me, it's like the relationships. It became a little bit draining. Not everybody, but like some things that happened in life. It just gets to the point where it's like, man, I want to go. Like, you ever feel like you want to just go somewhere and hide out for a couple years?
Yep.
That's where I was. I was in that place.
So the kid from Midwest City, Oklahoma,
Yeah.
to the 3-time All-Star,
Yeah.
2-time Golden Glove, the Hank Aaron Award winner, to where you are now. From there to there, and even into now, what's been your biggest pivot? And I know you're ready for this question, because you rock with the show. So in life, what's been your biggest pivot?
I feel like there's 2 pivots for me. There's a pivot where I had to pivot when my brother passed away.
Right.
To be a really successful athlete, you have to be mentally tough. Like, you know, a lot of parents, they pay all this money for training and getting stronger and bigger, but they don't train the mind. Like, that's for any sport. You got to be mentally tough, and you got to be. You just never know what could happen, what could be thrown your way. And I think for one of those things for me was that first pivot was my brother passing away and me becoming more mentally tough and working hard to, like, I want to buy my mom that house and do all these different things. And then my second pivot would be having my daughter, to where it literally made me realize, like, there's way more to life, and there's so much more important things in life other than being Matt Kemp, the baseball player. Now I'm literally like, Matt, I'm just dad now. So it's like, that's my pivot. Like, and it taught me, like, there's something out there bigger than me. So that's just kind of where it's at, those 2 pivots that I have.
You know, I love what you said about, parents, and having their kids aspiring to maybe be a pro one day, but they don't always help them with the mental side of it. And you can see a lot of that in today's sports, where they chase the fame before they chase the game. You know what I'm saying? So the mental toughness doesn't always follow.
It's crazy, because some of my last times in training camp, being around some of the younger guys, like guys that didn't even make it to the big leagues yet, they're like, man, I gotta hire this person to get my followers up. I'm like, Negro, like, what is you talking about, bro? Like, you need to make it first. Like, oh man, I gotta get my NIL money, or I gotta do this, or I gotta do that. I don't think they understand. NIL money good. Yeah. It's really good. But then multi-year 20,
guaranteed,
5, 30, $40 million that's gonna be. Ask Freddie, this is my boy Freddie. I'll be like, man, that's ashtray money, man. We just call that ashtray money. He's like, I got that in my ashtray.
That baseball money
The
different.
NIL money is ashtray money compared to what's on that other
baseball is
side.
crazy.
Yeah.
You know, unless that's the only money that in your mind that you think you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Like me, that's why I say it. Tori taught me that. No backup plans. Like you can't have a backup plan. A backup plan means you're gonna fail.
Right.
Like, oh, if I don't make it in this, I'll be this. That means you're gonna be that. You're not gonna be this.
Yeah.
I didn't have a backup plan.
Hey, I tell them all the time, man, the best way to prepare for plan B is be great at plan A.
I love it.
Plan B will come up. Man, appreciate you, brother.
That's gonna go on a hoodie, man. Thanks, bro.
Yes, sir.
Like he said, for a Negro, I hit him for a quarter billy.
He's stupid, man. Absolutely, bro. You dumb, bro.
Man, that was awesome, brother.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On the vision I can trust. Limitless. Take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up.